What's going on, everybody? This is Walter Bransma here from New Meta Entertainment, coming at you guys with episode 5, season 1 of The Meta. As always, joining me on the show is my panelist of well-known discussants by now, but if you guys want to introduce yourselves again real quick, feel free.
Hi, I'm
Yo,
TJ.
I'm back again.
Every time. Okay.
Well, you know. But no, I'm P-Dude, back from the first episode. It's been a little while. I'm here to talk about Greenville hot seat stuff. It's really cool. I'm finally joined back in, but you know.
DJ.
I'm not. I already did it.
Okay, Sai.
Okay.
Well, I'm Sai. I help. I'm really good at it.
Solid. Okay, great introductions. Anyway, as promised, we couldn't get Cody Cameron on the last episode, so we dragged him into here today. He's actually on Skype on his cell phone right now, really grinding out to get on this episode, so that's why he doesn't have video right now. Again,
Only the best equipment.
he looks amazing as like 8 different Smash Bros. Characters. We love him. But thank you guys all for tuning in right now. We got a pretty decent-sized episode. I just kind of want to preface it by saying we might be hitting a few heavier topics today in terms of just we want to talk about improvement as our general point of discussion with specifics on just different scenes and whatnot. So it might step on a few toes, and again, I apologize in advance for anything that might come off as insulting or anything like that, because we definitely don't mean it in that way. But, of course, we can't really all improve as a community unless we don't shy away from those hard topics to talk about. So, as always, let me know how the audio sounds in the chat. If everything's good, that'd be great. And we're going to just start it off with part 1 of our podcast with some news and PSAs. So, starting off right now, I'm just going to make an announcement real quick about a thing specific to South Carolina Smash. It's the South Carolina Smash Google Calendar and Gmail address. I have created a open access email and password to South Carolina Google Docs and whatnot. So just keep me posted. If you guys want access to that, you can message me. My name's Walter Bransma on Facebook, or just post on the South Carolina Melee Facebook page. And I'm trying to use that as just a general location where people can look up certain, I guess, dates and events coming on in the either Columbia area or anything going on within South Carolina as a whole. We could talk about any April or May tournaments, and I'm actually going to direct this to Sai because I know he has a pretty big announcement he wants to make about something going on for Georgia.
Man. Alright, so coming up in June 12th and 13th, I'm going to be hosting a 2-day tournament. Day 1 is going to be Smash 4 and Project M. Day 2 is going to be Melee. This basically the format that is in response to Olympus being a clusterfuck of hey, we like to play Melee and we don't make up 100% of the venue, but we're going to take up most of the time and space.
Solid.
So to alleviate that, I'm just like, don't worry about that. Smash 4 and Project M, you guys can play here, not have to worry about Melee. Melee, you can come later, not have to worry about Smash 4 Project M. And everybody's happy.
Word.
And if you want to play Melee on the second day, and also play Smash 4 and Project M, you just hang out overnight.
I like that, actually.
That's a good idea. I mean, it actually touches on a bit of what we talked about in the last episode as well. So
That it do.
good tournament organizing as always from Sai. So if you guys are in the Georgia area, maybe even in South Carolina, it's not too far of a drive from here. Check out Ascension coming up
June
12th. Okay, cool. Really, really awesome tournament coming up on the horizon, and I'm really excited to see how it pans out. In terms of other tournaments, there's definitely other things going on. As always, I suggest you guys check out the Smash calendar and Gmail that I have open access for, as well as anything going on either South Carolina, Georgia, North Carolina, etc., their respective Facebook pages. Really, really good stuff coming up, and just be sure to be on the lookout for those. Moving on, we have a recent announcement of Project M 3.6 coming out. From my understanding, it didn't really seem like too much came out. If anyone has more information on that, feel free to elaborate.
I mean, it's not even out yet, but I mean,
We're just all waiting.
is there anyone who hasn't seen the video yet? Sai, Cody?
I've seen
I've
it.
seen it.
Hmm.
All right, then I'm
Um,
not spoiling anything, but it seems like they put a heavy emphasis on Bowser this time. There's a lot of new skins, some remakes to the old stages, some HD remakes, and the new stage toggling feature where you can play on two different versions of the stage.
That's really cool.
That's actually really neat. Bowser's getting some new tech, like there's some sort of super jump that they've given him.
Yeah, I think
That's all.
Olamar's getting a new upbeat, isn't he?
That I am very excited about because I am an Olimar player,
Ooh.
Yeah,
And,
maybe it'll actually make him kind of good.
right? And I won't have to rely on having more than one Pikmin to survive. I can just go straight solo yellow 0 to deaths all day long.
Shout outs
And,
to Jack Foster for maintaining hope in the character. But
Thank you, Jack Foster.
I believe there was some announcements for HD remakes of stages and music and whatnot as well, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Dracula's castle's gone. That makes
Thank
me
the
very
Lord.
sad.
Good thing. Definitely a
I mean,
good
it's
thing.
still. I mean, it's
Still
still
secret.
there technically. It's just the stage platforms are still there. It's just that it's not Castlevania anymore.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, and then anything else? I think
now
it's,
Domino.
I think there's it's new music sounds announcer, so that's pretty cool. Also, that they put in the work
Mhm.
for that. Sai, you are freaking
Yeah.
me out right now.
They're gonna have Roy Nurse. I'm not terribly excited about that.
Why the heck would you nerf more characters?
He's too good.
Yeah, I'm not-
obviously. And they're gonna buff other characters because they're not used, but not because they're bad.
That's okay.
It's too
Anyway.
I know.
Up, you had a point.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I know there's been a lot of complaints about a lot of the Brawl characters have lost their viability. I know Reflex was saying that he was switched from Wario, who he has played since day one,
Mm-hmm.
to Marth because it was Melee win the game. And he's no fun.
Damn.
I mean, I haven't played too much 3.5 to make that judgment, but I know Reflex is one of the higher level players. So
Right. Yeah, I guess in terms of this, we will see what goes on with 3.6 when it gets released. Hopefully, we can have just like a update sort of discussion on what we think about the changes, anything that's going on, and if there's really too much different from 3.5. But anyway, in terms of more game related things, 20XX
we've also
Tournament
got-
Edition that has been announced maybe 2 weeks ago now, I think. That's freaking awesome. It looks amazing, and I'm so excited for it.
Pretty cool. I'm just hoping it doesn't have any too many glitches because I know with the original or the current form of 20XX, there's a few issues with it.
Mm-hmm.
And
Some
it can
issues that were.
cause- It can cause huge delays during tournaments.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, we've seen
As we've experienced, actually, but
from a certain South Carolinian tournament not too long ago, and something the stream has become known for
mhm.
at this point.
It's my first
I
emote,
actually
no
have
matter
no
what.
idea what
So
happened.
Big Gun Boys, if anyone remembers. But
I have no idea what happened actually.
we were
Oh,
a quick recap. I was streaming grand finals of Melee doubles with Baka. What was it? Baka, Nika Boy, Drugged Fox, and Twitch. And for whatever reason, they just kept activating the big gun glitch. Like, every game. And they would, look at it, be like, damn, these guns are really big. And then, reset. And then they'd try it again and be like, fuck, why is this happening again? So we ended up having, a huge wait between sets for, maybe 30 minutes. It was not really the best thing in the world. But anyway, it's gonna be my first emote if I ever get a sub button. But yeah, I think the big thing to note for the 20XX Tournament Edition is the fact that you can load it from a single memory card. Because if this facet of the hack pack, or as we'll call it, the Tournament Edition, works, that could be extremely revolutionary for Melee just as an esport and tournament organizing as a whole. And in my honest opinion, I think that having it loaded from one memory card, similar to how you can just load up your files, but just be able to load up the pack, means that you will have much more efficient tournaments, much more efficient just running events and making sure everything is uniform, instead of having this guy has Melee version 1.0 and this guy has 1.2 and all this stuff.
Mhm.
So Personally, I think it could be really good as long as it works out well.
Yeah, I still don't have an opinion on it until it comes out. I can actually mess with it as a TO.
Other really cool things that they've added was just availability for, I think it's 8 characters on the name entry screen. That's kind of neat. You can stage strike on stage, similar to how you could do it in the Hack Pack. Of course, I mean, it's free and open source, so there's a whole update list and feature list on a website that I'll be sure to link once I post this on YouTube as well. And I think once this gets closer to release, we will definitely be having a discussion on the viability of this for, I guess, the future of Smash, and if it's really, I mean, feasible. Because again, like as Gavin XI says in the chat, you can't talk about 20XX without talking about Nintendo's endorsement of it. So I think that's a big point of discussion that we can have for a future episode.
I just want new stages, man. That's all I want.
Stages.
All right, and then last announcement for today before we move on to our recap of Bad Moon Rising. With actually, we're gonna have a special call in from Mr. Dylan McGrath, the tournament organizer for Bad Moon Rising, joining us shortly. But just quickly going to discuss some things for Smash in the Summer coming on. EVO 2015 going on sometime in July, I believe it normally happens. Big announcement that I really want to just discuss briefly is custom moves were permitted for Smash Wii U version. So I wanna hear what you guys have to think about that. Do you think it's a good idea? I know we talked about Wii U and the viability of custom sets a lot in episode 3 of this podcast. So to see it happening at a tournament that big, I want to hear what you guys think about that.
All right, DJ knows nothing.
You already know.
I'm very much in favor of custom. I think that they where the game lacks a lot of technical depth. That's where a lot of its depth comes from.
Mm-hmm.
So, but whether Evo is the right environment to go ahead and try out a lot of these, because there's a lot of limitations on it. Like, there are 4 moves that Mega Man has that aren't represented at all
Right.
at Evo. So that's kind of an issue. I mean, I would love to see it get to a point where we can, actually just let everybody use their own set, but it's probably not going to be feasible until Nintendo cooperates with us.
Right, and I think the thing that DJ posted with the viable listings of sets, I believe they're using that actually, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So that's
a custom set project.
That's
I mean, it's
nice.
a good workaround.
It's a good way to act.
Yeah. Did I call it or what? Did I call it or what?
It's definitely a good way to just keep everything not crazy and not hectic going on. It's gonna add a level of depth to the game that's nice, as I already said in episode 3. A question I want to pose for this really quickly is, can we, with this happening at EVO, first off, do we think that players and commentators will have time to adjust to these custom movesets? Simply because I know there's certain areas like Sax Weekly have been starting to incorporate customs in certain areas like that, but will certain players and I guess regions be readily adjusted to this change? And then second, if this is happening at a tournament like EVO, can we see this happening in sequence with other future tournaments? Since it's such a huge tournament, would we expect to see a surge of custom move tournaments happening elsewhere?
Oh, of course.
Well, I mean, Cody, sorry.
I was going to say without a doubt, because there's going to be a lot of people who just go straight to the Evo rule set in the tournament because they don't want to sit down and actually write out a rule set.
Gotcha.
So.
But on the flip side, you also have the camp that still will not like custom movesets, and they're going to have big tournaments like CEO in the summer is also going to be a huge tournament, and it's not running customs.
Right.
So.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
As far as the first point, as far as whether the competitors or the commentators will be prepared for it, of course, with Sax already running it, those particular commentators will be ready to commentate on the fact that customs exist, and they'll be able to identify them and relay that information to the audience.
Mm-hmm.
Furthermore, if you're really a competitor, you're gonna try to learn as much as you can about them before you go into a tournament, knowing that they're there.
Definitely. Okay, cool. And again, as Evo comes closer, more podcast ideas. Me personally, I'm still holding out hope for Palutena. She looks totally busted with her custom moveset, so
It's really not that bad. It actually puts her into some
like decent tiered range.
I know she moves quicker with that one movement or one custom, but it does come with its disadvantages. Like she's a little bit harder to control at the exit, and she has customs are bullshit. Anyway, like Palutena, she does gain that speed, but it opens her to different vulnerabilities, so it's not unbalanced completely.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Yeah. So Palutena for top tier. Anyway. Moving forward, we are going to actually recap Bad Moon Rising. Amazing North Carolina tournament happening I think it was about 2 weeks ago now. 2-day tournament in North Carolina featured huge players like Hungrybox, Dr. PP and teams, Kobold, Plup, etc., etc. Really, really strong players. Those aside, the player I want to talk about really quickly is Twitch. Twitch had an absolutely insane run through losers bracket. Off the top of my head, I know he took sets off of Kobold, Drugged Fox, and Soft, I think, in losers, which was just incredible. I watched the stream, and it was actually amazing to watch him play, and he was just on another level. So just really want to give him a shout out for just a really, really strong tournament and a great showing. Anyway, we'll be talking quickly about the placements. Melee singles, first place was Liquid's very own Hungrybox, second place was Plup, and then third place was Twitch. Again, shoutouts to that player. And then for Melee doubles, first went to DOH and Hungrybox, second went to Swedish Delight and Nintendude, and third went to Soft and Sleepy K, which, really quickly, I want to note, Soft and Sleepy K, man, holy shit. They made it on like a top 10 teams play, I think. With the Sleepy K frame perfect shine to save Soft from the rest.
That was insane.
If you haven't seen that, go watch it because holy shit, wow.
that was Giphy in like 10 seconds.
That was like everyone was like Sleepy K is the best player in the world and he just needs to play because oh my god. But yeah, that being said, we're actually going to have a guest call in right now. We got the man, Mr. Dylan McGrath, has a lot to say about NEG, or Not Even Good, for those of you who don't know. That group, really cool stuff. They pretty much put together all of these tournaments, including Bad Moon Rising, and a lot of the good things you see going on in North Carolina. So big shout-outs to them, and we're going to give him a call in, hopefully, and he'll be able to tell us some announcements he was telling me about earlier today. And now we wait patiently. And now this has gotten awkward. And now he has not answered.
Dude,
oh, he's called back.
Like
here we go.
Jaw.
We in there. He just messaged me. Okay, cool.
Like the top of his head hair and his beard are like
it's like Pac-Man
consuming his face.
Majestic.
Hello.
Oh, what's going on, Dylan?
Hey, what's up, guys?
All right, just welcoming Mr. Dylan McGrath to the call, the TO and the legend behind Bad Moon Rising. Just want to say before we get into what you got to tell us today, really, really awesome tournament put on by you and your staff. I just want to commend you guys on that because it was fun to watch. It was fun to not even be there. And I had a really good time just watching on Twitch, and I could tell the organization was there. Everything was really, really on point. So good job to you guys.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I had a lot of fun, and Lucas Portnoy, aka NEG Darkheart, did a whole lot of work and a lot of the heavy lifting. So definitely just as much credit to him,
Good
for sure.
Stuff. All right, and you actually messaged me earlier today and said you had some announcements for some future NEG stuff going on. So
Yeah. So moving forward, I think that what North Carolina needs and really what the state of Smash really needs is just consistent high-level events like BMR. And my mission statement is to just try to make as many events like that as possible. and use the platforms that we have available to us, like this podcast, Knee Deep Gaming, anything I can to really get the word out about talent in North Carolina and let people know that. Dr. Pepe said in an AMA that he did that he thought that North Carolina was the most underrated region in the nation. So, like, my mission is to show people why he thinks that.
Most definitely.
And what I'm going to do in the future is I'm going to try to keep Melee and the other games separate, and it's not because I don't believe in one unit. I just think that's logistically the best way to make an event happen, and I think
it's
that
just
I
the
think
best idea.
I know. I think that Olympus, I learned a lot of lessons from watching the Olympus stream and a lot of lessons from running unsuccessful tournaments in the past. And I think it's just the best way to do it. So on June 13th and 14th, we are going to be having our first major Smash 4 and PM tournament. Now, I am under the impression that because of some of the bad media that Project M has gotten in the recent months, that what we need more than ever right now is a lot of exposure for PM, because I honestly think it's one of the coolest things about the community, that these guys came together and made something completely, almost from scratch, like a lot of original ideas, and it's basically become its own thing rather than just a brawl mod. And so I think that's really special, and it really represents like what the Smash community is capable of as a whole. So they're going to be on the main stage. I'm going to be streaming them on Knee Deep Gaming's primary stream, and Smash 4 is going to be going on doubles and singles. Custom moves are going to be allowed EVO rule set because it's the month before EVO, and I want everybody going there to be ready for EVO.
There you go.
So that's going to be our next event. We are talking maybe $600 to $1,200 in pot bonuses depending on projected attendance.
Okay.
And we had a lot of sponsors for our last event. We had GameCube Scrub out of Charlotte. His GCS Gaming Customs was there, and they were a really big help to us. And we're hoping to bring on twice as many sponsors as we had, and hopefully T-shirts and stuff like that this time. Like with every tournament I do, I want it to get bigger and better and badder. So I'm super excited to see what the future has in store.
Definitely, man. That sounds really, really awesome. I'm really excited for what you guys are doing because it's honestly great. It's really great. And hopefully we can continue to do some work together in the future. I'd love to have you on some more episodes. And, I mean, hopefully next time I can actually make it out to something like Bad Moon Rising and either help out with streaming, recording, commentating, etc. So.
Yeah, I've actually been watching the stream from here since you guys started, and I really like stuff like this, round horn style discussion. Me and Chris Cooper from Immediate Gaming were talking about doing something similar. So anytime you want to have me on, I'll totally be down. Like I said, my goal with VMR was really simple, and that was to just like run a super efficient tournament like the ones I used to go to when I first started playing. And I've been wanting to do stuff like this for the community since I started. So having the resources available to be able to do things like this means a lot to me, and I don't see myself like ever stopping trying to improve this scene or this community. So anytime you want to put me on, just hit me up, man.
That's awesome to hear. We'll definitely be in touch soon, but I just want to thank you for stopping in real quick and giving us some announcements. I'll be sure to post some of your links as soon as I upload this to YouTube as well, along with some tournament announcements. So
cool deal. Well, if you guys want, for anybody listening, you guys can go to facebook.com/notevengood. To keep up with all of our endeavors outside of hosting tournaments. We also have a podcast of our own called The Not Even Good Show. The first episode is dropping this week. And I'd like to give some shout-outs real quick. Shout-outs to all the Neg boys on the team. Jay Willie, Tahim, Stingers, Lazar, Darkheart, all the Raleigh guys, Chris Nor, Darkside, everybody who helped make VMR possible. It was a miracle. So really appreciate it.
That's awesome, man. Thank you. And hopefully I can help you guys out with your show as well once you get it off the ground, because it sounds like you got some good stuff going on there.
Absolutely. Thank you, Walter.
All right, man. It was awesome having you on the show. Thank you for
thanks, guys.
tuning in and talking with us for a while.
Thank
and we'll see you later.
Oh, yeah. Thanks. Have a good night.
All right. Dylan McGrath, everybody. Talking about some Bad Moon Rising. Also want to name drop Not Even Good, but also Knee Deep Gaming, the stream for Bad Moon Rising. They had a really fantastic stream, and it was just an awesome tournament to watch. Really, really high skill ceiling of players there, and it was fantastic. So twitch.tv/kneedeepgaming, twitter.com/kneedeepgaming, facebook.com/kneedeepgaming. Check those guys out. And that being said, we're going to get actually into the meat of our discussion, which is Get Good. This is more specifically tailored to South Carolina Smash, so I understand if some of you guys want to tune out. I know a lot of you guys were here for Dylan and some of the announcements he had to make today. So
screw that.
But
Listen up, because some of the stuff we're going to be covering can definitely be utilized in any region. So stick around.
but yeah, we are trying to tailor this more specifically to our region, but we want to talk about it just as a general overarching thing because it can be related to pretty much anyone and any single player, as Sai already said. So Get Good improvement, the reason I put it as that topic is because our discussion is going to be playing Smash and having a discussion on how to improve or just getting better at the game seriously in terms of an overall betterment of our scene as a whole. I'm going to let one of you guys start off. I know Sai has a big spiel about the hot seat that he wants to talk about. Cody has a few announcements about his very own hot seat as well, but while I'm saying it, why don't we just have someone explain what the hell a hot seat is anyway, for those of you who don't know.
I'm
Thank you.
gonna let Sai explain it. Then afterwards, I'm going to just announce a couple of changes we're going to be doing for Greenville, and I'm going to announce the schedule of the players and what games they're going to, what games we're going to have at 1UP starting on Tuesday. So Sai, take it away.
Actually, Sai, if you don't mind, before you
Go
start,
ahead. Just go.
and before we get to the hot seat, some people might be questioning why we're actually having this discussion as to why we as the South Carolina scene need this discussion, and we definitely do need it. And I think
Knees.
needs, and I think a good number of people that aren't me have said it better, but over the past couple of weeks, anyone in the SC Melee page has noticed the absolute shitstorm / circle jerk that has erupted out of the posting of the PR and the
Ever-faded
yelling,
PR.
the ever hated PR, and the yelling and screaming that comes with it, and the invasion of the neighboring states. Talking apparently mad shit in the eyes of some of the admins of the group, but I think that the screaming back is probably not the best reaction we've had in a while, because as Pikmin said it best, I think, is that when South Carolina starts getting good seriously, let them know. And I think that really rings true, because at this point, to a lot of the outside, it just looks like we're a bunch of casuals who happen to play by the fucking competitive rules. And I think that if we as a community start getting good seriously, then maybe we can actually talk some shit back. So without further ado, Sai, take it away.
All right, so the basic concept, as I'm just going to jump right to it, I'm not going to introduce why I did this. The basic concept of the hot seat, as I posted on Smashboards at some time ago. What happens is this. A player, and this doesn't have to be our local players, could be visitors, is selected to chair the hot seat. The hot seat, e.g. the player, must fight in 3 sets against each and every other player available for that day, given that this started during the summer and we had time like that to kill. The hot seat may elect to fight in any additional multiple of 3 sets against the final player of the day, usually the best, as the usual order of opponents is very roughly based on increasing skill level. The purpose of this regularly twice weekly event, subject to change, is to drastically increase the hot seat's skill level in a very small period of time, with near overexposure to an extremely wide and diverse skill range and set of playstyles. And that includes the description of the hot seat.
All right.
Cool.
So Greenville, our hot seat is starting tomorrow, the 7th, and we're making a couple of changes. As we have limited time, we're only going to be at 1UP for a few hours, but so basically we're going to do whoever's in the hot seat is going to be playing 5 different people, all in a best of 5 set. So so you're gonna have 5 people, 5 best of 5 sets, and I'm going to be doing 2 hot seats every Tuesday night, starting at one at 7 p.m. and one roughly around 7:30. So hopefully, because I've got a few players in mind that I want to see them get better, because that passion's there, and that skill's there. It's just way deep down in there. So without further ado, I've got the hot seat planned out until May 12th. So, all right. So please go ahead and listen. So tomorrow night, Tuesday, April the 7th, at 7 p.m., we are going to be playing Melee with Cup Noodle. Cup Noodle at 7 p.m. 8:30, we're going to have Perthrow playing Melee. On the 14th, we're going to have Android and myself playing Project M against as many people as I can get there, and I'm going to try and get as many good players as I can. The higher the skill level, the better. And we don't have to limit ourselves just to 5 sets either. Anyway, so the 21st of April is going to be Melee with Nyx and Justice Laser. The 28th is going to be Josh Way, and I actually have an open slot at 8:30. If anybody would like to contact me and sign up for that for Melee or any game you would like to play. On the 5th, we're going to have Android in Smash 4, and on May 12th, we're going to have Trance in Smash 4. So I'm gonna sit down with everybody. Hopefully help us get better, improve, because right now Greenville's lacking behind even the rest of the state. So so I want to get us better. I want us to come to Columbia. I want to kick your guys' ass, and I want to go to North Carolina. I want to kick their ass. So, but hopefully over time, I hope that we can include more sets for the hot seat, get more players. I want to get as many people as I can out there, as many high-level players as I can out there. I'm going to try and bring out, maybe see if I can get a couple people from Georgia to come over one night, help us get better. And every single set is going to be recorded. And I'm going to try something really interesting for the first hot seat. I'm going to pick out a couple sets from the night, and I'm going to do an analysis of them. I'm going to sit down with the video. I'm going to, record something. Hopefully pick out weak points, play style, pick out strong points. Just hopefully overall get them better. So that's my plan for the hot seat. I'm very welcome to any suggestions to improve it, but I'm just hoping this will help us improve as a whole.
Awesome.
As far as playing these Tuesdays, it's probably implied you'd have commentary during the matches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so thing we did during the summer again was because we had 3 sets for each player. On the first set, we would run a regular external commentator. On the second set, we would run the hot seat play. No, the third set was the hot seat player. The second seat was the opponent, or second set was the opponent. So each would provide commentary. It got a little rough because some people can't actually use other brain functions while playing the game.
I can't.
But
I know how it is. I can't do it.
Now the benefit to doing that is that it helps the commentator. It gives the 2 playing players perspective from an external source. It gives the player fighting the hot seat an opportunity to listen to their own thoughts while playing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, after the fact. And it gives the player in the hot seat the same advantage of hearing what they think during their own fights.
Yeah, I like that. I'll see about implementing that tomorrow night if I can get that to work out. And one last thing I forgot to mention. If you complete, this gauntlet of players, and if you beat all the players throughout the night, I'm personally going to buy you your selection of candy and soda.
What a bounty!
Hashtag
on the registration form.
I know you would, DJ.
I asked for your favorite candy and soda, and I'm going to sit it. I might go grab it before the night begins, and I might sit it right in front of you for the entire night. And if you don't do it, I'm just going to take it and leave.
Oh damn!
Yeah,
that's a little harsh.
Incentive on top of incentive, right there.
It's a nice little
incentive.
that motivator might be staring you right in the face. And I want to get players used to playing under pressure, and used to having something to lose too.
Mhm.
So we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. That sounds
Now-
like a really good thing. DJ, what were you saying?
Just for some clarification, these are like actual like tournament best of 3 sets, right? That you play in the hot
Tournament best
seat.
of 5.
Best of
Tournament
5
best of
sets.
5. Right?
All right. So these are just like tournament. You sit down, you strike stages, and you go.
You sure do.
All right.
And all these, I'm going to record every last result from these hot seat sets. And every set's going to be on YouTube as well.
Sounds
Nice.
good.
So
Sounds
I
like a
believe,
plan.
I believe Justice Laser will be streaming.
Sweet.
Nice.
Actually, if you want to drop me a link to his Twitch channel, I'll be sure to shout him out once you guys do that tomorrow as well.
I think he's in the chat, so he'll have to post it.
Word. Okay. Well, either way, really, that's a really good effort. I really appreciate something like that, and hopefully, maybe Columbia can start to see something along the lines of a hot seat. I fucking see you right there, dude. Oh, I see him. God damn it, James. Anyway, hopefully Columbia can start doing something along those lines too, because I think that would be a really, really good idea. Just to have it like region wide, where we're known for, we've had this rapid development through something like the hot seat. But pretty much the reason this discussion is happening, again, like DJ said, there's just been a lot of negative backlash going on, and like I said at the beginning of the podcast, even though this might be stepping on toes for some people, we don't want to shy away from things that might be considered a tough topic for some people. And as a whole, people shit on South Carolina Smash. For whether we agree with it or not, people shit on it because the way my perspective is, and correct me if you wanna make any adjustment to this statement, is people, and I'm guilty of this myself, people see our way of ranking or the people we put on that list, and pretty much our reaction to it is, wow, this is bullshit, and this is just a really stupid list, as is every single list historically we've had in the group. And there's no real proof to back it up, because the people who, including myself, the people who have said this list isn't accurate is coming from people who either A, don't attend tournaments, or B, are listing people who don't attend tournaments. So you have these people that you might know in your heart of hearts are better than either people on that list that you have, or better than they're given credit for, but there's no external effort on either side to really illustrate and showcase that improvement to everybody else so they can all be made aware of it. Because while I can know that player X, Y, and Z are godlike in the state, no one else knows because they never go to tournaments, or no one else knows because they don't do that much, or they do go to tournaments rarely and they place really well occasionally. So, I mean, again, we spoke briefly about a community effort such as the hot seat. That's a really good way to just like get a general sense of improvement among a community going. There's also personal efforts as well, where you can just practice more, do all that stuff. Again, it all depends on what kind of time you want to put into the game. And I actually spoke with Matthew Sharp, aka Star-Lord, today, and he worded it very well to me today. He just said some people just don't have, or are, quote, like, not cut out for playing competitively. And I think a big part of this discussion is whether or not you recognize if you're cut out to playing competitively. Because while you might think you're able to play competitively and be at that level, and you might be skilled enough to be at that level, there are time commitments and other things that get in the way, and it makes it harder for you to just say, okay, I'm going to have this competitive commitment, but I don't have the time to do all this stuff, so I'm not going to go into anything and still expect to be number 1 through 10.
I agree with that.
I will say this though. I was actually on the PR committee, and there was actually a wide variety of results used, and it was run through a ladder program.
Right.
Was it the True Skill program?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Again, this sort of answers Gavin Xi's question in the chat, what gives legitimacy to the PR? And Cody can pretty much elaborate on this answer, but it was based off of an algorithm, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So-
it calculates size of the tournament. It calculates, who's there, in their previous placings and everything, who beat who. If you see something on Anthem, it's the same thing as what Nintendo Dojo used. I think they still use it.
Mhm.
I believe
No.
it's similar to Anther's Ladder as well. It does have legitimate results behind it. Now,
Honestly,
What
yeah.
I'm gonna say to that is there's legitimate results. I agree with it. I spoke a lot with Andrew about this when he was originally looking at the program. At the same time, my main thing is just there are people who have been ranked, and this is a very nitpicky thing, who haven't gone to anything. So it's just confusing as to how that plays into the algorithm.
I'm in the same boat. I mean, I attended.
So
one
you are
tournament
completely
for Smash.
frozen, and it's awesome.
That's beautiful pose. I am ranked, number 10 for Smash 4. I have attended one tournament.
Yeah, Fenrir was 9 also, and he only attended one as well, if I'm not
Yeah, well,
mistaken.
the thing that I was looking at it, and the thing that gave us, that edge, like, with that one tournament, like including like all the Georgia players and everything, we were like 18 and 19. That's including all the Georgia players just from that one tournament.
Gotcha.
Because we beat a lot of people who were ranked.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
honestly,
Sai's been itching. Let's.
the thing is, having that PR produced, I looked at it and I was like, this mostly makes sense, but I can understand why people are frustrated with it. Now, the thing with posting the PR is fine, but if you want to post the PR and just like not have to deal with the bullshit that comes after posting a PR, you need to provide the like reasoning for literally every placement.
Right.
Which I
And,
know sounds tedious as hell, but if you do that, people are like,
Yeah.
oh,
right. And
well,
the
all right,
big
I guess I
issue
should
was
just
that
go
there
shut the
was
fuck up
none.
and work. Exactly.
Yeah.
And I did mention that
Yeah.
too. I think Matt Glaser, he said he was part of the PR board, or he was related to it in some form. I was like, just explain it, and then you're fine, and nobody can say anything.
Yeah.
Well, people can still complain, but their complaints are not
Yeah, but-
on like a
They're no
really
longer
grounded
valid.
state. Yeah.
That being said, having a statewide PR is still very tenuous, and it's a lot more conducive to hosting other tournaments if you just have local PRs set up, so that when you go to larger tournaments, instead of having the hearsay and anecdotal seeding, which leads to tons of upsets, you have pools that are actually staggered nicely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, shout outs to the last episode where Sai dropped the immense knowledge nuke on TOing. But yeah, I think I'm going to agree with you on that sentiment, and just local rankings I think are just inherently better than state rankings.
Yeah.
State rankings obviously have a better ring to them, and they're more widely accepted by people. But the big issue is those fallacies when you get to a tournament, especially when you're considering a region like South Carolina that's not really we're honestly not really known for our depth of skill, where you can say, okay, and each placement at that point when you're looking at a state ranking system becomes a debate on whether or not this person should be first or second seed in their pool, and that's when it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
Anyway, a bit off track, but important that we talked about that, because it plays into really just what we need to do as a scene and then as just a community to improve, so that when the next time these PRs come out, people aren't like, oh, this is bullshit. People are like, oh, okay, well, that's good. I can do better next time. So I know DJ and myself are actually working on something. If you wanted to give a little preview of that, Mr. Snyder.
Alrighty, my time to shine. And this goes out to Mr. Neutral B in the chat. because he's
Literally screwed it up.
clamoring for he really wants a hot seat or something like it in Colombia. Well, Mike, wait no longer, because Walter and I have some news for the Columbia scene and possibly in the future the rest of South Carolina. But what Walter and I have been putting together over the past couple of days and week or so
Yeah.
of work we've been putting in is...
Oh, thank you, Mr. MLG, for the follow. Sorry about that. Really loud going on. Okay,
No
go ahead.
problem.
At least it's not a flood like last time.
Thank the Lord. But what we've begun to put together is a Columbia Smash ladder. Now if you've heard of Anther's ladder, it's going to function kind of like that, but it's not over net play. It's purely local and in person. And we're hoping to use the oh dear, I've lost my place. But the Ready to Play Weekly said most of the local Columbia Smash players already attend. But what it's going to be here is it's going to be a completely separate ranking system and separate from the PR, and it's not going to be it's going to be at first based on tournament placings just to quickly establish initial rankings. But what it's going to be is, unlike the PR, to move up in the rankings, all you have to do is beat the guy ahead of you in a best of 5 set using the EVO rule set, and that's the EVO 2015 rule set. Literally just challenge, and we're putting together a Facebook group so that people can join and publicly make their challenges known, and we'll be having a Google spreadsheet that lists everybody's ranks, their mains, and what their status is at the moment, if they're active or not, and so on and so forth. But we're hoping that the Columbia Smashers will take part in this, and we're hoping that it'll be conducive to fostering some competitiveness in the Columbia scene, as well as giving people like a target to aim for, so that the person ahead of them has a bullseye on their back now. And while this ranking system won't really be conducive to tournament standings, and it's not like a local PR, it'll help give us Columbia Smashers an idea of where they stand among their peers. And we're hoping that if it works out here, then other organizers across the state will use it with their scenes. So that's the basics, and we'll probably post the link to the sign up in the SC Melee group later on this week. And we're hoping to have that set up by next Thursday for the Ready to Play Weekly next week.
Right, and I think it's just important to keep in mind, specifically for this is, we're using Columbia as a prototype, pretty much, just to see how this will function from the get-go. There is a lot of refinement that needs to go into this process, but we want to try and get it out and released as quickly as possible, being next Thursday, hopefully, as DJ said, so that we can at least feel it out and then see what we need to do to make it better for the next time we go around with it. Also just gets everyone's names out there really quick. Anyone that really wants to participate is welcome. So it's not like we need to have involvement from every single player in the region in order for this to be successful, but it definitely wouldn't hurt. I think it's a strong community effort to do something like that, and hopefully it works out to well enough success where people will be able to challenge one another openly, and it just becomes this very, like DJ said, it wouldn't be that useful for a PR style of system, but for the fact that there's so much ebb and flow within this list, it makes it so that there's a lot of competition happening a lot of the time.
I like it a lot.
And like the main goal behind this is to foster rivalries and hope everybody keeps like piggybacking off each other just to get better, you know?
Right.
So I beat Walter beats me, I beat Walter, and we just keep getting better and better.
Mm-hmm. I think going off of that, I had a really just like fleeting idea as well, because we're pretty much just airing out ideas of ways in which people can really just devote effort into getting better, or just really just seriously improve in Smash as a whole. The idea I was thinking of, it was similar to the it's kind of like your hot seat idea side, but it's in a crew battle fashion. So you take your hot seat, you put thank you for following. Pikmin is a fraud. That's 100% true. That is 100% true. You take your hot seat idea, you take those 5 players they play against, and you do 20 stocks to 20 stocks, similar to how I think we had like the Plup versus the World style thing, where he played Crews versus D team, Crew versus C, B, and so on until he tried to get to A, and it became a like how far can you get sort of deal. My thought with that was a boss rush. My thought with that was if there was some way we could perhaps tier this list that me and DJ are trying to compile with with this Columbia Smash ladder. If we can tier these people into different levels of this boss rush, we do something similar to that, where you're not only fighting for your placing on this ladder, but you're also fighting to stay on the team that you want to play on for when we have this hot seat / boss rush happening. So you could have players within the same tiered team playing with each other for the hot seat, as well as players in the same tiered team playing against someone who's put in the hot seat in a crew battle or boss rush scenario. And Crews is just an entirely different mentality than playing just singles in the first place. So it would teach you pretty much how to just play a bit more safely and just learn how to be a bit more conservative, I guess, with your stocks.
Fair enough.
All right.
Yeah, but
I should really take advantage of anybody that's taking statistical analysis classes, because the data that we get from tournament results and these sorts of events that aren't necessarily tournaments can definitely be used to properly separate tiers of skill level.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Based on the first couple of months of a hot seat, I'll probably actually look into doing a ranking system. As far as as much as Greenville as I can get out, Greenville and Clemson, for that matter.
Definitely.
So what I like about this is that this now takes care of 2 big regions of the state, Columbia and upstate.
Mm-hmm.
So now I want to see Myrtle Beach do something, and I want to see Charleston do something, and I have no doubt that Spin Jump could come up with something awesome.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yo, I forgot about Myrtle Beach. They've been quiet.
In terms of South Carolina, there's definitely those key people who will make things happen, such as Spin and some other people, which is good. I mean, it's good to have those keystone factors, I guess, in play. So, all in all, really nice. I'm excited to see how these ideas pan out, and hopefully our main goal with all of this is just that the people who become involved have a genuine and earnest interest in getting better. That's what we want. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're salty about losing your ladder ranking, or you just got moved down to the B team, or like whatever it is. At the end of the day, if you feel that you've improved, that's what we want, and that's our goal by making all of these projects and plans and ideas and whatnot, and having this whole podcast episode, because we need to show our improvements so that other people just understand. They're earnestly trying to get better, and it's not just like they're just complaining about their PR again and they're not going to do anything about it.
We'll see. We'll see.
All right.
Cool. I think that
everything I had to say about that. So.
Yeah, I think unless anyone has some additional points about getting good, I think we've sufficiently wrapped up this topic.
Oh, so last spot here, still on the topic of getting good. I'm about to go play racquetball, and I would just like to throw out this really quick fact. Sorry. As you go about your daily life, you should also consider your physical fitness. Very legitimate part of getting good. Helps you stay on the move, think quick, and keeps your hand circulation good, because some of you flub your controller inputs because you ain't got good circulation, so on and so forth. Something to think about. I'm even about to play, even though I just took like a shot of rum, but for me.
All right. Well, yeah, definitely. Get good, stay fit. run the ladder,
Talk
make it
shit.
to the top. So that's pretty much all there is to it. And with that, I think we're going to be closing out the main meat of our discussion. Go into upcoming events. So for those of you who weren't tuned in earlier in this evening for some announcements, I just want to repeat a few of the PSAs I made earlier. Mostly this is just related, of course, to events coming up within the regions. As always, check out our respective Facebook groups: South Carolina Melee, North Carolina Melee, Georgia Melee, Eagle Smash, etc., etc. There's so many Facebook groups. Just go on Facebook, check it out. If you don't have one, make one and check it out because it's awesome. And there's a lot of really good stuff going on there. Again, just want to reiterate, the South Carolina Smash Google Gmail address and Google Calendar is open access for anyone who wants to use it and make edits to it. All you got to do is shoot me a message or check the post I made on Facebook, on South Carolina Melee's Facebook page, to get the username and password for that. And my main goal with that is just so that we have a good bunch of people on that who are updating that calendar with their upcoming events, whether they be from South Carolina or not. We want to know what things are going on within regions around us. So if you want to do it, shoot me a message. I would definitely love to have some more people on that calendar working on it because it'd be nice. Some other tournaments coming up. Again, Cody is donning his day one premiere of the Greenville Hot Seat tomorrow evening. Stream coming from Mr.
Justice
Justice
Laser.
Laser.
Justice Laser. Yeah, give him a check out on Twitch. Drop him a follow, most definitely. Should be in for some good stuff, and most importantly, we're going to be in for a lot of improvement from this region. And of course, June.
I'm a roll.
Correct
soon,
me again?
So let me mention Ascension,
Yeah.
June 12th and 13th. If you don't like Melee, just come play Smash 4 and Project M on the first day and get the hell out. If you like Melee, but you also like Smash 4 and Project M, come the first day, stay overnight, play the second day. Good to go. And if you only want to play Melee, you ain't got to worry about Smash 4 and Project M chumps. Just come for Melee and you're good to go.
Sleep in for the whole day and go play Melee.
There you go.
But
And
yeah.
then you can go over to Bad Moon Rising 2 or whatever that tournament's going to be titled, since it's on a completely separate day.
Definitely. That's a good way to close it out, Sai. I like it. That's going to do it for announcements. And last but not least, of course, hashtag AskNewMeta. For those of you who do that sort of Twitter thing, give us a follow on twitter.com/NewMetaTweets. And if you have any questions in terms of anything that wants to go onto the podcast, be sure to tweet at hashtag AskNewMeta with any questions you guys might have that weren't answered on the stream in the chat, or anything going on here that you'd want to ask off camera, and then we can answer those questions come next episode, which is hopefully soon. But yeah, hashtag AskNewMeta. Check it out. Twitter.com/NewMetaTweets. Check us out. And that's going to do it for our podcast today. So I want to thank you
Right
guys
backs every
all
day.
for tuning in with us. Thanks for sticking around, those of you who did. I really appreciate that a lot. Shout out to Nick really quick. Nick's really quick. You're allowed to follow me now, man. But don't worry, I won't be too upset with it. Just let it happen. I'm ready for it. My ears are ready. But thank you guys all for watching so much. I really, really appreciate it. And I was really, really happy with the turnout for today's stream. A lot of people tuning in to watch this one. Hopefully this becomes a recurring thing for our future episodes. But yeah, as always, my name is Walter Bransma. Joining me on this podcast was Mr. DJ Snyder, Cody Cameron, and Cy Hobbs, because I can't pronounce your actual first name. It's really hard.
Oh, that's good. You should only pronounce Psy. That's
Okay,
all you ever
okay.
need to pronounce.
But thank you guys all for watching.
You know what I mean.
We love you guys. And we'll see you guys on the next episode of The Meta, hopefully coming up soon. See you next time. Peace out.